So we are going to discuss Bootstrap Air Refrigeration System. So Bootstrap Air Refrigeration System is a refrigeration system used in aircraft engines, aircrafts. And here, what we are doing is, this is the main gas turbine and main compressor. This main gas turbine is used to run the aircraft, and this is the compressor. And here we are providing a conduit through which ambient air is entering the main compressor. So when ambient air enters the main compressor, on the initial stage it undergoes a compression, and that compression occurs here, and that this is the ambient air, and when it enters through this particular portion, there it undergoes a compression on2. So on2 is the process in which the ambient air compresses and it get pressurized to ram pressure. And this on2 process is an ideal process, and if there is some efficiency and all including that means if it is a non-ideal process, then the pressure will be somewhat different, and that point can be represented as 2 dash. This will be that point, and the peculiarity of that point is the temperature of 2 and 2 dash will be same, but the pressure will be somewhat different, somewhat less. 2 dash P2 dash will be somewhat less than P2. Then after that, after the compression, after the ramming, it enters the main compressor, and in the main compressor it undergoes compression. So that process is shown by 2-3. So after 2-3, the main compression, after the main compression, a part of it will be fed to gas or fed to the compression chamber, and we are not bothering about that. A part of it is sent to a particular chamber, and this chamber is actually heat exchanger. And in heat exchanger, what they do is this ambient air, usually it will be having low temperature. That low temperature air will be passed through this heat exchanger. After it is already known that after the compression the temperature increases, because pressure and temperature increases during compression. So the air coming out of this main compressor will be at a higher temperature compared to this ram air or ambient air. So what we can do is, we can use this ram air to exchange heat from this compressed air. So we are doing that in this first heat exchanger. So that ram air, a part of ram air comes through this heat exchanger, and it will go, after absorbing the heat, it goes through this exit path. Now the compressed air, which is now somewhat cooled, again passes through another compressor, which is secondary compressor. So in heat exchanger, it undergo a heat exchanging process. That heat exchanging process is 3-4, and it is a constant pressure process because there is no expansion or compression of air. So after that, it enters the secondary compressor. In secondary compressor, it undergoes process 4-5, and this 4-5 is compression process. So after compression, again, already whenever air undergo compression, there will be an increase in temperature. So we have to decrease it. For that, we are using a heat exchanger. Again, we are providing a second heat exchanger, at which again ram air is fed for absorbing this heat from this compressed air. So this is that process 5-6, where the temperature of this compressed air is decreased. So this is 5-6. After that, it is passed through a turbine. So this is actually a cooling turbine. Cooling turbine means after 2 sets of compression, even if we are providing a heat exchanger, the temperature will be somewhat higher. So we are providing a cooling turbine. So this compressed air passes through this cooling turbine. In cooling turbine, the compressed air expands. As air expands, pressure and temperature will decrease. And when the temperature reaches an optimal level, which is at an optimum pressure and temperature that provides comfort to the passengers, that particular air, cold air, will be supplied to the cabin. So that is called the cabin temperature and cabin pressure. So that is this one, this pressure. This is the cabin pressure. So cabin pressure is the pressure which is coming out of this particular turbine, and it is that pressure at which we are supplying the air to the cabin. So that at 0.7 it enters the cabin. So on entering the cabin, automatically there is temperature due to the body temperature of the human present there and the facilities available there. So what happens is this air will be absorbing a particular temperature from the cabin, and its temperature will be rising. So it reaches a point 0.8. So this is what happens in a bootstrap air refrigeration system. So this air refrigeration system make use of the ambient air and compressors and a turbine, so that we are able to provide sufficient a well conditioned system for the passengers available in the cabin. That's bootstrap air refrigeration system. Thank you.